Hello class, this is Mrs. Zappia with Eureka Math Lesson 12, Ratio of Fractions and Their Unit Rates. Our essential question is, how can unit rates with fractions be applied in the real world? In example 1, you have decided to remodel your bathroom and install a tile floor. The bathroom is in the shape of a rectangle, and the floor measures 14 feet 8 inches long by 5 feet 6 inches wide. The tiles you want to use cost $5 each, and each tile covers 4 2/3 square feet. If you have $100 to spend, do you have enough money to complete the project? We're going to make a plan and complete the chart to identify the necessary steps in the plan to find the solution. First, we want to find out what we know. We know that the floor is a rectangle. We also know the dimensions of the floor from the description that it is 14 feet 8 inches long by 5 feet 6 inches wide. So that would be the length and the width of the floor. We want to find out what is the area of the floor. And how we find it is using the formula for area, length times width. Next, let's take a look at the tiles. We know that one tile covers 4 2/3 square feet from the description. We want to find out how many tiles do we need. And how we find that out is that the area of the floor divided by the size of the tiles will give us the number of tiles that we need. Finally, figuring the cost. What I know is that the tiles are $5 each. What I want to find out is the total cost of the tiles and if it is less than $100. How do we find that out? The number of the tiles times the cost per tile will give us the total cost. So let's implement our plan and solve this problem. We'll start by finding the area of the floor. And we know that the area is the length times the width. We know that the length is 14 feet 8 inches and the width is 5 feet 6 inches. So let's convert that to a mixed fraction. We have 14 feet and 8 inches out of 12 inches times 5 feet 6 inches and 6 inches out of 12 inches. So let's reduce those to simplest form. We get 14 2/3 times 5 1/2. And we're going to multiply those numbers. Pause the video while you multiply the fractions. So we've multiplied our fractions and we've got, changing this to an improper fraction, we have 44 over 3 times 11 over 2. Simplify first. These can both be divided by 2, giving you 1 and 22. Multiply your numerators, 22 times 11, and our denominators, 3 times 1. That gives us 242 over 3. Convert that to a mixed number. 3 goes into 242. And the answer is 80 2/3. So this is the area of our floor. Area is 80 2/3 square feet. So we've completed the first step, which is finding the area of the floor. The next step is to find out how many tiles we need. And we know that we are going to calculate the area divided by the size of the tiles. So here we have the area divided by the size of the tiles, and that's going to give us the tiles we need. Our area is 80 2/3 divided by the size of the tile, which is 4 2/3. So pause the video while you calculate that answer. So we've calculated the number of tiles that we need, and we came up with 17 2/7 tiles needed. Now you won't be able to buy 2/7 of a tile, so we're going to round that up to 18 tiles. So we are going to buy 18 tiles. So we've completed the next step. We're on the third step, which is to find out how much the tiles cost and if we have enough money. And we know that the tiles are $5 each, and we know that we need 18. So we're going to multiply the number of tiles times the cost per tile. The number of tiles is 18, the cost of the tiles is $5 each, and that gives us a total of $90. And we know that we have $100, and we only need to spend $90. So yes, we have enough money. In this next exercise, the question says, which car can travel further on 1 gallon of gas? So what we want to do is we want to calculate the unit rate of miles per gallon and then compare. So we know that the blue car travels 18 2/5 miles using 0.8 gallons of gas. And we know that we want to know the unit rate for 1 gallon of gas. Remember that what you want one of is your X value, and then that will be per your Y value. So gallons is your independent variable, miles is your dependent variable. And we want to figure out on 1 gallon of gas how many miles we can travel. Then we know that there are 0.8 gallons of gas, and we know that that will take us 8 2/5 miles. And what we want to calculate is the unit rate. And we know that the unit rate is Y divided by X. So we have 18 2/5 divided by 0.8. Now, in order to do that division, you want to calculate you want to convert 0.8 to a fraction. So we know that 0.8 is equal to 8/10 because of place value. And in simplest form, this is 4/5. Now pause the video and convert 18 2/5 to a improper fraction, and then divide your fractions. Remember to multiply by the reciprocal. So we've completed the calculation and we came up with 23. What that means is that on 1 gallon of gas, the blue car can travel 23 miles. Now pause the video and calculate for yourself the unit rate for the red car. So we filled in our chart and we discovered that the unit rate for the red car is 23 1/5 miles on 1 gallon of gas. So next we want to answer the question, which car can travel further on 1 gallon of gas? Well, do you want more miles to the gallon or less miles to the gallon? When you're purchasing gasoline, you want to go farther, so you want more miles. And so the answer is that the red car travels further. In this lesson, you have learned how to find the unit rate for a ratio that includes fractions. In a previous lesson, you learned to write a ratio of two quantities, such as A to B, as a fraction, A over B. Remember that the first item is the numerator. And additionally, to find the value of this ratio, you would divide A divided by B. That's a wrap for lesson 12.